get this over with. Good quarantine. This is Peyton. This is my informative speech. My speech is over the current coronavirus as we are all experiencing. Just going to go over a couple things regarding masks and extra steps that we can take. To start off, we've been in quarantine recently due to the virus outbreak. Although COVID-19 has spread at a tremendous rate throughout the world, people are taking extra steps in hopes to prevent themselves from contracting the virus. So, what are the extra steps that you are taking in defense against COVID-19? Are you washing your hands? Are you practicing social distancing? The cliches of everything. All right. But more importantly, what are these steps doing for us as well as others? And with us taking extra steps, what difference can that make in us slowing down this virus and or helping the doctors, with not taking so much masks or preventing more visits in the hospital, etc. Currently, we've been told to limit our travels unless they're essential, along with limiting the number of people to be in groups of 10 or less. And anyone who is considered in more than 10 groups, in groups of 10 or more can be, probably just told to go home or separate or whatever, probably won't get in too much trouble. However, for businesses who are open when they're not supposed to be, such as tattoo parlors, hair salons, and things like that, depending on your county and or city, can be either shut down, they can get jail time, or they can get a fine up to $1,000, as well as everything else. So, washing our hands, restraining from touching our faces, I touch mine all the time, are other helpful ways to prevent any contractions of COVID-19. Although these are good ways of prevention, are they good enough? Do they really do what the news and media say it does? But what are essential employees doing to prevent contracting and or spread of coronavirus? Those who are in construction or who are in, let's say like any trade necessarily, or in the grocery stores, gas stations, food, restaurants who do drive-thrus, what steps are they taking in order to prevent any sort of spread of a sickness in general and or the coronavirus? An article posted on the Dallas News websites describes what some stores are doing in hopes to restrict contamination. For instance, Walmart has made a policy to allow, and I quote, no more than 5 customers in a store for each 1,000 square foot, end quote. Meaning you can have so many people based on the square footage of the grocery store, I would say. So like a neighborhood Walmart and a big normal Walmart are allowing different amounts of people. By doing so, this extra step will help in prevention of spreading any illnesses, especially COVID-19. Also, all dine-in restaurants and many other non-essential places are closed until further notice, and it limits the amount of human contact. For instance, bars or tattoo shops, when people are really close to you or in a small space, crowded area, everyone's breathing, coughing, or sneezing, whatever. This can prevent any further spread of people who may be asymptomatic, which means they could have the virus but not know it and give it to somebody else. Somebody who can have a common flu, which can cause other illnesses and anything. Don't go up there, Luna. Hold on. Stop. Come on. Go. Sorry, she loves my phone. Other steps people are taking in use of common items, such like for face mask, and as an extra way to, prevent spread more or less than to retract any sort of virus or illness. For instance, the N95 masks are a big shortage right now with the hospital for doctors needing them, so people are turning and using shirts or jackets, bandanas, whatever. But, sorry, an article posted on Newsweek has stated, and I quote, "Cloth masks and other facial coverings when going out into public," end quote, "are pretty much essential at this point just to try and slow down and encourage a peak for this virus." Oh, goodness. With professional masks, they have filters such as the N95 masks, and they form better to the face, which are good, great masks, but if everyone is using them, the doctors don't have any. And they're the ones who are in the front line for this defense against the virus to try and save lives as well as prevent any further people from contracting the virus. But a lot of people have been wondering why masks are so important, simply because, the coronavirus is more commonly spread, and I quote, "through droplets as the infected person coughs or sneezes," end quote, meaning when you sneeze and you just missed, same thing. As this has been reported in an article of the U.S. News, as I mentioned before, the use of facial covers should be taken seriously as a simple cough from a asymptomatic person and or someone with corona symptoms. Again, I strongly encourage each of you to wear a facial cover and gloves when traveling to any public place or setting, such as a park or wherever. If you're getting gas, you might as well just be protected. A report from Time.com states, and I quote, "Clean often, wash your hands, and continue to not touch your face," end quote. Therefore, we have the ability to slow down the spread of Ms. Corona, allowing for a possible cure or vaccine to be developed faster and more efficiently. Ultimately, going the extra mile and protecting yourself from these rapidly growing viruses by limiting human interactions, especially in public settings, washing your hands constantly, wearing facial covers, masks, along with latex gloves to prevent any virus contaminants from spreading to anyone. I thank you for your time, for hearing what I had to say, and remember to take these extra steps seriously, as they can not only save your lives, but they can also save others. And again, sorry for the hat. Quarantine.